Hi VC, it's Aaron, Muthalamere. Today I'm going to count down my top 25 Canadian records in my collection. Now these are by Canadian bands or artists, my top 25 I have, and this was inspired by Steve from All the World's a Stage. Now I will leave a link to his channel and his video. He did his top 13 Canadian albums in his collection as a tribute to Brian from Embryonic Robot, and he's doing a video on the channel, on Steve's channel with Steve and Gary, my good friend Gary from Physical Format Rock and Roll. And I'll leave links to those videos and Steve's channel and Brian's channel so you can kind of see what's going on here. But Steve did a top 13. I watched his and they were all really good stuff, but I was like, wow, none of those would even make my list. So I was kind of, and I think I need to do this to show what my top 25 Canadian records are. So, you know, Steve had some great ones, but there's a couple bands in there that I'm not big fans of, but most people are. I just, for some reason, don't like a couple of the bands so much. You'll be surprised because they won't be on my list, and a lot of people love them. Just not me. So I'm going to get started here, and thank you, Steve, for doing this. And I've just wanted to do a response to the show because I love Canadian music, and there's so many great Canadian channels in the VC and great Canadian people, as you know. For example, Brian, and they also got like Frank at channel 33 RPM, and he's the first channel I discovered in the vinyl community like 7-8 years ago, and that's what got me watching vinyl community channels. You got Darcy from 6 Strings 9 Lives. He's one of the great metal channels in the VC. My great friend Glenn Kellaway from The Basement, Robert Hegeman on my turntable, you know, Rachel's Ghost. So many great Canadians in the VC. I'm leaving a bunch out. I'm sorry. I'm just doing this off the top of my head. Those are just a few. But I'll get started here. Number 25, and this is the only EP in here. Love this EP. This is Thor with Unchained. And Thor was a great musician from Canada, of course. Heavy metal, hard rock heavy metal. This is more leaning towards the metal side of what he did. And this has great stuff. I love the song Anger on here. When Gods Collide, Lightning Strikes Again. I love this album. There's the back here. So Thor at number 25. And number 24, a great artist, Neil Young with Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere, of course. This is one of my favorite Neil Young records. Now, I could have had 10 Neil Young records in this. Only 2 of them made the list, though, but they're my 2 favorites. This one here, and this has Cinnamon Girl. I love that song so much. Down by the River's on here. You know, this is a great album, Cowgirl in the Sand. I love this album from Neil Young. And number 23, Share the Land from the Guess Who. The Guess Who, one of my favorite bands of all time. My favorite Canadian band is the Guess Who. Absolutely love them. Burton Cummings, of course, the amazing vocalist. Randy Bachman on guitar, but I think this is after Randy Bachman had left. It might have been his last record. I'm not sure. Yeah, there he is. So this is his last record with him. This has some great songs like Hand Me Down World and Share the Land. Do You Miss Me, Darling? Bus Rider. What a great album. Share the Land. Kind of an underrated Guess Who record there. I love that one. At number 22, I've got Heavy Metal Maniac from Exciter. Great thrash Canadian band. I love Exciter. They're a 3-piece, just killer thrash metal. Stand Up and Fights on here, Under Attack, Cry of the Banshee, that's awesome. Mistress of Evil. What a great album and a great band. Exciter. One of the most underrated thrash bands going. They're still playing too. At number 21, I've got Forged in Fire from Anvil, the 3rd Anvil record. And this is a great album. Anvil is kind of like on the border of heavy metal and thrash. They kind of inspired speed metal a little bit with some of their stuff. And this is just a great album. Every song's good on it. Anvil's just so underrated. Love Anvil. At number 20, I've got Walking the Razor's Edge from Helix. This is my favorite Helix record. I love all the Helix records. I've got like over a half dozen, maybe 10. And this is so good. It has the first song is Rock You, which I just absolutely love. This has the song 6 Strings 9 Lives, where Darcy got his name from his channel name. Just an awesome album. Helix, Walking the Razor's Edge. At number 19, another one from the great Canadian band Guess Who. This is Canned Wheat. Amazing songs on this. This has Undone. And if you haven't seen Jeff Witcher's Burton Cummings video on the song Undone, check it out. I might leave a link to that too. So, because it's awesome. This has No Time on it, Laughing. A really great song. Where is it? 6 a.m. or Never's on here. Old Joe. This is just great. Killer stuff. Love the Guess Who. Okay, at number 18, a very underrated Canadian metal band. This is Sword with Metalized. And don't get them confused with the more modern band, The Sword. This is just Sword. They put out a couple great albums in the late 80s. This is one of them, Metalized. Absolutely love this record. I know Ron Haggerty says this is his favorite Canadian metal record, I think. Stoned Again on here. That's a really cool song. Children of Heaven, Stuck in Rock, The End of the Night. Great, just metal. Killer stuff from Sword. At number 17, my favorite Neil Young record. Love this one, After the Gold Rush. That title song is my favorite Neil Young song. This has, just killer stuff on here. Southern Man. Just everyone knows this album. This Neil Young's best as far as I'm concerned. And if I would have been 26, it would have had Harvest. That would have been my next one. Love that album too. So at number 16, we've got Voivod with Angel Rat. Voivod's just a genreless, I'll say that word again, genreless metal, thrash, speed, progressive band from Canada, of course. And this Angel Rat is such a good record. It's a slight departure from most of their other stuff, but it's really good. Every song's good on here. Just awesome stuff from Voivod. Okay, at number 15, one of the most underrated bands of the 60s and 70s. They don't get any credit. Not even in the Hall of Fame, even the new one. They didn't even get a nomination, even in my friend's Hall of Fame thing they did. And this band, so influential, Steppenwolf, with their debut. This has Born to Be Wild, but that's not even close to my favorite song on here. It's got The Pusher, which is my favorite. I love The Pusher. Suki Sue is on here. What a great album. This band doesn't get their due. Steppenwolf, amazing band. Okay, at number 14, I've got the debut from Loverboy. Canadian hard rock greatness. Love this album. It's a hard rock, pop rock, whatever you want to call it, masterpiece of a record. It's my favorite Loverboy. I love them. The Kid Is Hot Tonight. Turn Me Loose. So, that bass on that is just so good. Lady of the 80s on here. Teenage Overdose, one of my favorite songs on here. Great album. Loverboy. Number 13. Now I'm up to where Steve started off. This would have been my top 13. Number 13, I've got Keep the Dogs Away from Thor. My favorite Thor album. This is more just a hard rock album. It leans a little towards the metal, but it is so good. I just love it. All the songs are so catchy. I love the title song, Sleeping Giant. I'm So Proud. Catch a Tiger. Just awesome stuff from Thor. 1978. Really great album. At number 12, I've got American Woman from the Guess Who. I told you I love the Guess Who. This is one of my favorite Guess Who records, probably my second favorite, but it's just so good. The song American Woman, this has the extended intro on it. No Time is on here. What a great song. The other version of that, No Sugar Tonight, New Mother Nature, one of the very best Guess Who songs. When Friends Fall Out, what a great album. American Woman from the Guess Who. At number 11, I've got Violence and Force from Exciter, another album from this great power trio. That's my favorite power trio from Canada, and that'll give you a hint of who I don't have on here. I love Exciter, so good. Oh man, I just love them. This is just such a killer masterpiece of a speed metal record. At number 10, Juggernaut from Frank Marino. Frank Marino is one of the most underrated guitarists in history. He's a lot like Jimi Hendrix style-wise, just awesome. He was from Mahogany Rush, and this is my favorite album he ever did. This is, there's a Mahogany Rush album right up there with Frank Marino, but this album here is so good. Love it. Frank Marino, Juggernaut. The title song is great. Strange Dreams. What an amazing guitar record there. Okay, at number 9, I've got Nothing Face from Voivod. Another great album from this band. I really could have just filled this list up with Voivod because they're just so awesome. I just don't have a whole lot of them on vinyl, but this one here is probably my favorite. They actually do a cover of Astronomy Domine, the Pink Floyd song, which is really cool, but there's nothing quite like Voivod. So cool. At number 8, My Own Way to Rock from Burton Cummings. Now, these Burton Cummings solo records. His first two are absolute masterpieces of pop rock excellence. He's my favorite vocalist of anybody, probably ever. any genre. I love his vocals, and this album is so good. That title song, Come On By, the Bob Seger penned tune, the really great ballad Timeless Love is on here. Charlemagne, what a great album by Burton Cummings. He doesn't get his due either. At number 7, and this, I've loved this album since it came out in the 80s. Absolutely love it. Aldo Nova. And this is just hard rock and it's great. It's just so catchy. Of course, it has the big hit Fantasy, but Ball and Chain is maybe my favorite on here. Hot Love is great. It's Too Late, Heart to Heart, that whole first side. Second side's good too, with Fooling Yourself and Can't Stop Loving. What a great album. Aldo Nova, great guitarist too. At number 6, I've got the Headpins with Turn It Loud, their debut album. They had 3 albums. This is my favorite by far. I like their other 2, but this one just rocks. I love Turn It Loud from Headpins. Darby Mills, the lead singer, is awesome. And just, I love every song in this. Winning is killer. Don't You Ever Leave Me. People, Keep Walking Away. Killer album. Love Headpins. At number 5, I've got the debut from Burton Cummings, Solo. This album and My Own Way to Rock are both neck and neck to me for what... I think I like this one just a hair better, but it's really close. This had the big hit, Stand Tall. That was his only big solo hit. Also another kind of hit, I'm Scared, is on here. Does a couple really cool covers. One of them is Nothing Rhymed by Gilbert O'Sullivan, which is really cool. And That's Enough, the Ray Charles song. He does a really different version of You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet, the Bachman Turner Overdrive song, kind of lounge with him playing guitar. Killer vocals. But my favorite song in here is Birch Magic. Absolutely killer. He plays a killer Moog synthesizer on it. Just awesome. At number 4, you saw this band earlier. This is Sweet Dreams from Sword. One of my favorite metal albums of the 80s. Just absolutely love Sweet Dreams. Every song in this. The Trouble Is it's so good. I remember that video when it came out. Caught in the Act, The Threat, Life on the Sharp Edge. Awesome, awesome metal album. If you don't know the band Sword from the 80s, check them out. They're killer metal. At number 3, my favorite album by the Guess Who, Wheatfield Soul. And this album is just so good. These Eyes was the big hit from it, the only hit, but the rest of the album just is so good. Friends of Mine, one of my very favorite Guess Who songs. I Found Her in a Star is awesome. Maple Fudge, Lightfoot, When You Touch Me. I love this record so much. Wheatfield Soul. At number 2, and this is a more modern band in the last decade, and this is Never Wanna Die from Diamonds. Great hard rock, heavy metal band. The guitarist of this is now an Exciter, which is cool, but just killer stuff. This is just so catchy. It's like modern day glam metal, but a little bit heavier. So good. Ain't That Kind of Girl's killer. Hell Is Full. Better Off Dead. Every song is good on this. Save Your Life. Just love this album so much. And my favorite Canadian album of all time, number 1, Metal on Metal from Anvil. This is a heavy metal masterpiece. It introduces speed metal. A lot of the thrash speed metal bands got their, this kind of influenced them a lot with stuff like Mothra and the title song, Stop Me. What a great record. March of the Crabs, what a cool instrumental that is. Now, number 1, Anvil, Metal on Metal. So there we go. And everyone, I will leave some links down there to Steve and Brian. And just have a great day and go Canada.